Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dante Fortson here with white Jews in West Africa. Nefernitty exposed as a false teacher. Again. So today's going to be very, very interesting. You guys already know what's up. Go ahead, click the thumbs up button for me. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead, click the subscription button. If you're already subscribed, go ahead and click the notification bell and click all notifications, please. Today's presentation is brought to you by undeniable full color evidence of black Israelites in the Bible. If you don't want to argue with people, just show them the evidence. There's no way around denying the physical evidence that exists. And the Black Hebrew Awakening, the final 400 years of slaves in America, the book that Vocab loves to lie about and misrepresent my position on it. So make sure you grab that book if you want a truthful explanation directly from me what I'm talking about when I mention the 400-year prophecy. Vocab has intentionally misrepresented that, and lots of people have called him out on it, but he continues to lie because I guess that's what the new Christians do, the Pseudo Church. We'll talk more about the Pseudo Church later. So, as many of you guys witnessed, I put out the video about Nefernitty and Damon Richardson, and Nefernitty tried to respond and it just got out of control from there, and people were calling her out left and right for her lies. The only people really believing her were the urban apologists that absolutely refused to fact check, the ones that have already made up their mind that no matter what evidence is shown, they're always going to argue against it. They're always going to find a way around it. They're always going to try to look for a way to deny it, and they're always going to believe anything against it without fact checking. And so the rest of us were watching as she did the Zab Judah, as she got back up, thought the fight was still on, put out a quick response, and then fell on her face flat. So I do want to give a shout out because thanks to Nefernitty and her being such a deceiver, if it wasn't for her deceit skills, she wouldn't have been able to get Vocab Malone to start promoting her video that contained the lies that I'm about to point out right now. Multiple lies. And Vocab got behind this false teacher and he started to promote her false video. So did Faithful to God and G-Con and several others in the urban apologetics community, because they thought that she was on point and they didn't fact check her at all. Not once. They didn't fact check her. Not any of them. And if they did fact check her, they all combined and decided that they were going to bear false witness anyway. And when I'm done, you'll see exactly what I mean. There's no wiggle room for this. And that's the reason I sat back and watched them do this all week and didn't say anything. So now they brought Eric Mason into this. And I appreciate it because that was what I wanted in the first place. And I figured if I poked and prodded at Vocab enough, maybe, but nope. So then I poked and prodded at some other people, and Nefernitty turned out to be the weakest link in the urban apologetics community. She couldn't handle it. She had an emotional reaction and just went crazy with it. And luckily she got everybody's attention. And now they're going to have a panel tonight. And Faithful to God, Vocab, and Nefernitty and Eric Mason are going to be on that panel. So thank y'all for bringing him out tonight. And for those of you listening, trust and believe I got some good stuff for you. So stick around to the end of this. So we're going to start this off with a verse. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily or privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. 2 Peter 2:1. So let me ask you, what kind of teacher is happy to tell black people that they ain't nothing but slaves, that your history means nothing, you're not special to God, you mean nothing. Your history means nothing. And if you try to research your history, you're going to hell. Or if you try to research your history, you're putting culture over salvation or culture over Christ. These are the things they say to us from the urban apologetics community. And yet Vocab Malone flaunts his Sicilian/Italian heritage in our face all the time. And not once have I seen any of them accuse him of putting his Sicilian/Italian heritage over Christ. Not once have they accused him that he's going to hell for embracing his salvation. The only people that would tell you this are false teachers. False teachers that want to keep you from the truth. So let's start with lie number one. She did not keep her word. Nefernitty did not keep her word. So if you see here, Jeffrey Davis said ignorance. First of all, this is in response to one of her videos. This is on her YouTube page. You can go there and you can see it. It's the first video she made. Is the tribe of Judah, or is the kingdom of Judah named after the tribe of Judah? Nah, fam, the one I responded to. This is a comment under there. He says, ignorance. First of all, Oida is Portuguese word for Judah. I can prove this. Secondly, Africans or Bantus have lost much of their history after colonization. However, the Europeans knew them as Jews. The original aboriginal name for Judah and other Israelites was not Judah or Israel. You people need to study. So I put a link to this in the description so you guys can go see it for yourself, because I know they like to lie, but we're going to address some of that other stuff, what they said later. So anyway, if you get down to here, forget all this conversation, that gets into accusations and other stuff. But if you come down here to what Nefernitty said, if you can prove it from a credible source, I'll absolutely make a public announcement that I was wrong. Okay. Now, for those of you who actually watched my response video, the tribe of Judah in West Africa, Damon Richardson and Nefernitty exposed as false teachers. Now, I proved it. People who watched it said I proved it, and they were from credible sources, which is why she didn't attack any of the credible sources. And so I want to go through and show you guys again real quick. I'm not going to spend much time on this because I've already gone over. She didn't keep her word, though, right? She didn't make that video. I'm going to come back to this. She did not make it a public announcement saying that she was wrong. So, was the kingdom of Judah in West Africa named after the tribe of Judah? Nah, fam. This was her statement. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Lie number 2, she claims she debunked my research. This is the claim she's making. She debunked my research. Now, let me point something out to you. This was taken earlier today, and the numbers have changed. I got a more recent screenshot I'm going to show you. So far, she had 2,076 views, 100 likes, and 76 dislikes, including mine. I disliked it. She put out a 3-hour and 45-minute video and managed to get 76 dislikes, nearly as many dislikes as likes. And we know that the likes came from people that I described a minute ago. Now, if you look at my video, it has 7,427 views earlier, 584 likes, and 21 dislikes. So let's do the numbers. You can see her numbers right there to the left and my numbers to the right. So now you see that I have 3 times more views than her. I'm just rough calculation. There's more than 3 times more views than her, 5 times more likes than her, and 3.5 fewer dislikes. Why is that? Why don't the numbers add up to me being debunked? If she had debunked me, her numbers would look a lot different. But there's a reason they don't look different. It's because people who know the truth understood that she was lying from the very beginning. From the very moment she posted on Facebook in a reaction to the moment that she made that 11-minute Facebook video that I don't even know if it's deleted or not. And then when she made her response video and now she's making all the other videos, she's having a complete breakdown because people are calling her out. Now, if she debunked me, why am I getting messages like this? This was taken when I 17 hours after I posted the video. Right here, I had posted a response to her. This is all lies. It was in Africa and can be proven. This was posted on her video. Now, somebody on her page responded to me right here. I am glad you did thorough research to eloquently articulate a rebuttal to the message on your channel that was presented. After listening to your talking points, I am persuaded to your point of view based on historical evidence versus conjecture. There's a comment somebody left on her page to me. So why are people saying stuff like that? Then there are Africans posting on my page. I'm not going to read all of these. I'm just going to read the top one for you. You guys can go to my page. Links to everything are in the description. As always, don't let these people lie to you and tell you I'm not giving links. That is a lie. And I'm going to show you that too. So now these are the Africans. I can't prove they're African, but I also can't prove the other guy in her video is African. He sounds like a random African. She didn't leave any credentials. So we'll come back to that in a second. Judah is all over West Africa. Here it is right here. I live here and know scores of them, including my UA spouse. Does anyone live under the illusion that all of Judah was taken? The kingdom of Judah was in what is now Benin. There are scores of UA, Yoruba, and Igbo there right now. I'm in Ghana with scores of UA, Igbo, Ga, Kroba, Anlo UA. If I'm pronouncing any of these, please forgive me. I'm terrible with foreign languages. There's also the Bamileke of the Cameroon, and many additional tribes in Angola. Anyone denying Judah's presence here is either ignorant of the fact or simply a liar. And this is a response on my video that I posted, the tribe of Judah in West Africa. They said anyone denying Judah's presence here is either ignorant of the fact or simply a liar. Why are people from Africa coming to my page? Here's more. There are so many who have not heard yet the truth that they can be set free. So now we see these people mentioning this stuff. So let me go above here. I'm just gonna read this. I'm not gonna read all these. Judah is all over West Africa. I live here, no scores of them. That's the one I just read. Let me go down here, right here. Great research. I'm from Western Igbo, the Niger Delta Igbo. We don't know our origin. Believe me, my father has refused Christianity. He believes his forefathers worshiped the one true God. The word Chukwu Abiyama is the same word God of Abraham. The priests, which we refer to as Dibia in Igbo, also means seers, or what the Bible referred to as prophets. We practice all the laws of the Bible in our tradition. That's a different person right there. Here's another different person. It's amazing. I really want to visit the Igbo soon, so God will. I am from the Luba tribe. They practice circumcision too, have some Hebrew customs and words. There are only theories about us migrating from West Africa to Central. Maybe there's a link between us and the Hebrew tribes in Nigeria. Maybe our ancestors split and continued, but we know that we are not native to the Congo. So there are people from Africa, or claim to be from Africa. I can't prove it one way or the other. They're on my video saying that there are Israelites in Africa and they're black. They're naming African tribes. And we know that the word Judah comes from Owida, which they mispronounce the Yoruba word, the Yoruba word. And right there, they're saying the Yoruba are Israelites. Now, Nefernitty said she would make a video saying she's wrong, right? So what's a more credible source than an African in Africa? But she's trying to tell us that the Africans are liars about their own history. We can continue. She says, I didn't tell. This is lie number 3. And I know y'all think it's some, hey, that's not hard evidence. I'm building up here. Lie number 3. She says, I didn't tell people the Jews in West Africa were Portuguese. Again, this is why she's getting so many dislikes. Right here. This is after I posted my video. This is her Facebook reaction before her 11-minute video. The original one she posted. Bruce will tell you there were Jews in West Africa. True enough. That's an admission. True enough. That's an admission that there were Jews in West Africa. So up until this point, we couldn't even get an urban apologist to admit that there were Jews in West Africa. So Nefernitty has now changed the narrative. She's admitting that there are Jews in West Africa. True enough. But they don't tell you they were exiles from Portugal, Europeans. That's the lie. Now, let me go ahead and point out where she's lying. So she said true enough. So she agrees that there are Jews in West Africa, or there were Jews in West Africa from Portugal. She's going to stand on the lie that they're Europeans. We're going to come back to that. But she says true enough, but they don't tell you that they were exiles from Portugal. And you see all the little responses here, and you see a bunch of comments, and she gets called out, and people are sharing this. People are sharing this false statement. 2 people. They shared this false statement. All right. So now this is March 12th. Now I posted my video March 13th. She posted her response on March 15th, her big response, the 4-hour video. Now on March 12th, right here, I did a 10-minute video. Black Jews deported to West Africa, Portuguese Jews expelled. She says that I don't want to tell people that these exiled Jews are from Portugal. Historical documents tell us that the black Jews in Spain and Portugal were deported to West Africa just before the start of the transatlantic slave trade. She said that I don't tell people that, right? So there's a 10-minute video that is receipts. Receipts. I have a bunch of them today. She said I don't tell people that, right? So now, here's the video I did. The tribe of Judah in West Africa. 7,760 views. This is a more updated version. As you can see now, it has 600 likes and only 21 dislikes. Even more likes than before and the same amount of dislikes. Now, if you watch the video in its entirety, you know that she is lying. You know why people are calling her out and thumbs downing her stuff. I mentioned this in the video over and over and over again, probably to the point that some people were sick of it. I told them that the Portuguese were deported from Portugal to West Africa. I mentioned the islands, Sao Tome and Principe. I mentioned Leongo. I mentioned a bunch of this stuff. And yet she immediately goes on Facebook and starts lying. That was lie number 3. There are a bunch of lies that I didn't even include in this because I didn't even see the point. Lie number 4. The Portuguese Jews were white. So now, because she has to admit that there were Jews in Africa, which she said she would do a public announcement saying she was wrong, and she has not. We know that there are Jews in Africa. She has to hang on to the lie that they're not black. So the only alternative is to say, wait, they're European. And she gets called out on it. But I'll come back to that in just a second. I know I keep saying I'm going to come back to stuff, but check these out. True enough, but they don't tell you they were exiles from Portugal and Europe. Now, here we go, right here. What's your source? You're a historian, correct? Let's examine that source. So somebody asked her for a source almost immediately. Third one down. They immediately want a source. Now, somebody, then you get more comments, right? So there's more comments coming. Please prove that Arthur Kessler and all other Jewish scholars lie about the fact that Jewish people are converts. Start by there, because Dante Fortson used sources of Jewish people and also Europeans. So he gives a challenge to prove a video wrong. But people are asking, like, where's your evidence? Another one here, another comment. These are on her page, not on my page. These are on her video. Go read these. Instead of yapping, why are you not showing us any of your resources like books, scholarly academia, peer review, Cambridge University to refute Dante? Would you please do a video calling Cambridge University and telling them that they are liars if you really have the Spirit of God? If you can't do any of these things, then you are the devil's advocate with no merit. Quit playing the victim as if Dante attacked you. Several of you Christian apologists have been attacking Dante and spreading lies like the serpent. If you really don't care what he believes in, then tell that maniac Vocab Malone and all the Christian apologists to mind their business. And I cut it off there. Right here, somebody mentioned Deuteronomy. Right here, somebody says, Nefernitty or fruit speak for themselves. I think you're upset he called you out. Somebody else said right here, almost 4 hours of saying nothing, just dancing around the evidence. You may have your subscribers fooled, but I'm not. You and your ilk are finished. These people are calling her out because she is a deceiver. She is a false teacher. And again, only the urban apologists that didn't bother to fact check believed what she was putting out. And again, I want to make sure to note that Vocab Malone actively promoted this false teacher. Faithful to God actively promoted this false teacher. Cherry Love actively promoted this false teacher. They were all conspiring to commit false witness against me. And they all got caught because Nefernitty got them caught. And not only that, they did not once call out the fact that she said that there were white Jews in West Africa. Why haven't they called that out yet? So has the urban apologetics community decided as a whole that they're going to roll with Nefernitty on this and that they are all going to admit that there were Jews in West Africa? Because from right there, we only have to figure out if they're white or black. See, we've taken a step forward against them, but they don't even realize it. So now Nefernitty has nowhere to go. She can either backtrack and say, no, I'm wrong. There's no Jews in Africa. I'm lying. Or she has to stick with, yes, there were Jews in Africa. Now we just have to figure out if they're white or black. So Vocab Malone seems to be backing that since he shared it and he didn't call it out. Faithful to God seems to be backing that since he shared it and didn't call it out. Cherry Love is backing that. Think about that for a second. All of the urban apologetics community is backing something that they've been saying wasn't true for the longest. And now one of them comes out and admits it. But I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to show you that what I said about her either being a deceiver or the world's worst researcher was not me making it up. It was not a personal attack. I was speaking facts. Right here. She said, I don't provide my links, right? John Stevens comes in and says, all links were provided, sister. Click on show more and you will see a long list of references. All links were provided. So she tells people in the video, I didn't provide links. Why would she tell people that? Because she wants to paint a false narrative, because she's been backed into a corner and there's no way out. She's been backed into a corner and there's nothing she can do but now live and die on that lie of white Jews in West Africa. Blacktastic suggested that we just ask Igbo. I agree. We should just ask Ebo. Somebody down here says, Sister Nitty, after seeing you on Cherry's panel, I would like to ask you, do you think your professional credibility is in question? You have been accused of dishonesty. I also saw your post in the Rumble Room. I wasn't the first person she lied on. I can't think of the name right now, but I believe she lied on somebody saying they didn't believe in the Trinity. I'm not the first person to accuse this woman of lying on them and spreading false witness. I'm probably the first person to call her out in the way I did and approach it the way I did, but I'm definitely not the first person to accuse her of lying. Now, somebody else calls her out. You went ahead and lied to go ahead and build a false argument stating that Judah was capturing and selling slaves. Is there some reason you neglected to mention that Judah was selling those of their own community that they deemed lawbreakers, or that later Dante states they would be conquered and targeted for slavery themselves? She omitted a lot of stuff. And people who saw the full video knows it. So now I do want to point this out right here, right? So this comment tried to make it about me attacking a woman. Now, they didn't mention that I also mentioned Damon Richardson in this. They didn't mention that I included him too. But see, they want to make it about gender to deflect. This had nothing to do with her being a woman. Not once did I mention women in the pulpit, women being preachers, women not speaking to a man. I didn't mention any of that stuff. I focused on the evidence. And see, now they're trying to distract and make it about me attacking a woman. No, I said her and Damon Richardson together. I didn't separate them. I treated them equally. My video was about both of them, not just her. So now somebody else points out over here, there were at least 4 different map makers from the 1700s, all with Judah or some form of Judah on them. 2 of the maps even have notes saying they are referring to Hebrews. Are you saying the maps are not referring to Jews/Hebrews? People are questioning her integrity because she didn't want to acknowledge the maps. See, they're so stuck on that 1747 Emmanuel Bowen map that when I drop the other 4 maps, they don't know what to do. Because they haven't either looked at those maps or they haven't seen those maps. Or they didn't know they existed. That could have been a thing, too. They didn't know they existed, so they haven't looked at them. They haven't seen them. But whatever. They're supposed to be apologists, right? They're supposed to be up on all this stuff that we got. So let's go to number 5. Lie number 5. She says I was trying to hide evidence. This is the biggest one right here. This is the one where everybody's like, oh, she got him. She got him. She debunked him. She used his own source. And yet I got the receipts again. So her video came out March 15th. This video came out March 11th. This video is 26 minutes long. This video addresses the University of Tel Aviv source that I put in the video in the tribe of Judah in West Africa. I spent 26 minutes on that source, almost a half an hour. So the reason I did not go over it in the tribe of Judah video, if you listen to the whole thing, and this is why urban apologists need to fact check and stop bearing false witness. If you listen to the whole video, I tell people multiple times, go ask your pastor episode 3. Go ask your pastor episode 3. I told them in there, if you want the whole breakdown on this document, go ask your pastor episode 3. Did she tell people that? No. She lied and said I was trying to hide it. She also said I did not include the link to that, which here it is right here. You can go there and see it has 4,268 views of something she claims I was trying to hide. Not very well hidden. So now she claims over here, this is what I'm talking about. He left out the link to Jewish Blackness Thesis Revisited, mdpi.com/2077. Here he is, mdpi.com/2077. I did not leave out the link to that. She is lying. And as you see, this is the updated version. 104 likes, 83 dislikes. She almost has as many dislikes as she has likes. People are not falling for the scam anymore. She's a liar and a terrible researcher. Now notice, the only 3 links she puts in there are links that I give to her. Now, right here, she admits again that she has been proven wrong about Judah, meaning Judah. He admits the French were trying to say Ouida with the X here, right? This is from Yoruba. Now, anybody in the Israelite community that has done research on Yoruba, please tell me if the Yoruba are Israelites or not. Please tell me if the Yoruba are Israelites or not. So right now, She has backed herself in the corner because she admits that they were trying to say Zuida. And people believe that the Yoruba, or they know their own history better than I do, Yoruba were Israelites. So how does she say Judah is not named after Judah if people that are Israel are naming the place? And she still has not done the video, the announcement video saying she was wrong. Now, this is my video. You see the link to my video here. She said I did not include these links here. And again, you see the MDPI link right here. .com 2077 Jewish Blackness Thesis Revisited. The link is there, and she is not telling the truth once again. You can go verify this for yourself. All the links are in the description. There are 21 links total, and 2 were from Wikipedia. Now I want to talk about this for a second. She makes a big deal of the Wikipedia thing, and they're like Wikipedia. But the hypocrisy of the urban apologetics community is nobody called her out for using a random dude with Africa. We don't have a name. We don't have a location. We don't know any credentials about this man. And yet they accept that as scholarly research. I posted on Wikipedia. Not only did I post on Wikipedia, I clicked the reference links and showed you the reference links right here. Where's it? University of Michigan. I verified it with University of Michigan, University of North Carolina, and other universities. And yet she didn't call attention to that. She didn't want to point that out because she is a deceiver and a false teacher. Anybody can use a random dude in Africa. But if you fact check Wikipedia, Wikipedia is reliable. I backed it up with university sources, which is why she admitted that there were Israelites in West Africa. That was lie number 6. Now, we're going to keep going. As I pointed out, somebody said all links were provided. All links were provided. Click on show more and you will see a long list of references. Now, speaking of people who don't provide links, and she said I don't provide links, here she is asked for her source. Again, please, I asked and I still don't have an answer. So let me take it here. Can someone give us the actual links that white Jews were exiled to West Africa so we, the neutrals, can read for ourselves? This person is telling her, I'm neutral. I want to read this information to myself. What is the response? So we have one person says, I'm sorry, there's no such evidence, not in this life. That's true. Here comes Nefernitty. Check the description box. The evidence Dante provided in his own video tells you that they were white. I provided timestamps in the description box so you can skip right to those parts. Okay, so now, here's another lie on her part. What I provided was from the University of Tel Aviv. It was an opinion paper. And in that 26-minute video I showed you I did on the 11th, I tore that apart. I pointed out that the person writing the opinion paper did not use any actual evidence. I pointed out that the person writing the opinion paper sounded ridiculous because they were trying to find a way to not acknowledge that the black Jews were actually black. I pointed out that the person writing the opinion paper said the majority view in scholarship is that they were black. I pointed all of that out in a 26-minute video where she claimed that that evidence proves me wrong, and she ran with it and she lied. I pointed out that the use of this paper is because they give you a long list of resources that you can use to establish the fact that Jews are black. Go watch that 26-minute video. Go Ask Your Pastor Part 3. Go watch it for yourself. Don't let her lie to you and mislead you and tell you that that paper proves her point when that paper does not prove her point. She just saw something she could latch onto and said, oh, wait, this Jewish guy over here, his opinion is that they weren't black. They could be black without being black. So now I can use this. It disproves Dante. No, because all the other university documents say they were white. I'm sorry, black. She says they are white. So it disproves that they are black. So she wanted to use it. Every university says that they are black. Misspeak. They are black. And I've given you the resources so you can look for yourself. So now she goes on to say in response to her, please be honest with yourself and weigh the evidence before weighing in. She assumes that a person is being dishonest if they tell there's no evidence because there's no evidence. She didn't produce any links. She refuses. Now, here's this person, the original poster, responds. This will be a little hard to take in because I want hard evidence. They were put in Timbuktu, modern day Senegal. They are now the Kasabis who are still white, but nope. You are the very first person I'm hearing it from. And as a Ghanaian, this person's from Ghana calling her out. I am yet to see or hear of a single tribe who are mostly whites that were exiled from Portugal into any part of West Sub-Saharan Africa. I want substantive evidence to jump on a side, and right about now, Dante seems to hold the fact because based on his video, the closest he said of Jews being white were of the Leongos, and if we honestly not take him out of context, he meant their features, like a typical Sudanese has the features of a white person but is darker. People are calling her out because of that video. So those of y'all who are promoting it. Now, somebody else says, what's your source? You're a historian, correct? Let's examine the source. What is her response again? Sure thing. Are you saying I'm lying? What difference does it make? Give the man your source. He says, show the source. She responds, I want to see your position. Are you saying I'm lying? Yes or no? I will give you the source when you answer the question. Why? Why is she being so evasive and deceptive? Ask yourself that. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, other. Ask yourself why this woman is being so evasive and deceptive over evidence. Just post a link. So now I'll tell you what I did. I did go and post the link after she shared the source. Because once I saw the source, I said, oh, wow, she's dug herself deeper in the hole now. So now, once again, he responds, produce the source. She says, if you can't speak plainly, don't waste my time, friend. Why so evasive? Why is that the response? Because somebody asked you for a source? This is what we get from the urban apologetics community. They're evasive and they're deceptive because they're liars and false teachers. He said, I don't know if you're lying or believe to lie because you won't produce a source. And then she says, OK, I got you. This was given to me by an Israelite. Red flag. Then she says, I looked up the document myself. I doubt it. Not based on anything I've seen her research. So far, the only links she's provided any evidence were provided by me. Now, she said this was given to her by an Israelite and she looked up the document herself. So this is a source that Nefernitty herself provided. I just want to point that out before I dig into this. She provided this source. So if you're going to say it's not reliable, that means Nefernitty's a liar. If you're going to say it's reliable, you better stick to that, no matter where it leads. So this is the source right here. The Jews of Spain and Portugal and the Inquisition. This is kind of hard to see over here to the left, but this is the cover by Frederick David Mokata. Then, now, she accused me of screenshotting stuff people want to see. She accused me, of screenshotting stuff that I didn't want people to see. This is what she accused me of in her video. And then she herself only posts a few pages. Now, I didn't screenshot every single page that she posted, but she would not post the link so the people could read it themselves. So I went ahead and posted the link after she did this. She says, I got more from them too. You want more? Question mark. Okay, so I posted the link. And shortly thereafter, she blocked me from her Facebook page. But I posted the link for everybody to see this source for themselves because she refused to share it. So now here it is right here. Library of the Theological Seminary, Princeton. This is from Princeton. Publication date 1877. From Princeton. This is her source that she shared. The Jews of Spain and Portugal and the Inquisition. I want to show you right here. Published 1877. There's all the information right here. The link is in the description as always. So now, I'm not going to read the whole book. I just want to focus on this. And if you go to the link, go to page 100, you can read where I'm reading at. I'm just going to read this section over here because the book she posted corroborates the book I posted when I used it to refer specifically to the black Jews in Spain and Portugal being deported to West Africa. The book that I used says they were black. The book that I used says they were the tribe of Judah, Levi, and Benjamin. So then she posts this. And I'm going to read this little section to you right here. And I'm going to show you how to corroborate the evidence between the two books. This is published 1877. Now, let me back up real quick before I do that one. The terrible earthquake of Lisbon, which happened on November 1st, 1755, and laid the greater part of the city to ruins, spreading death and desolation everywhere and destroying between 30,000 and 40,000 of the inhabitants, proved the means of saving a considerable number of Jews from the jaws of the Inquisition. The palace of the Holy Court was overthrown in the common ruin. The walls of the prison house were violently split open. The gaolers fled for their lives, and such of the captives as escaped the general destruction, scared and horror-stricken, found themselves suddenly and fearfully restored to freedom. bare of everything, and only possessed of the clothes they stood in, they lurked about among the smoldering ruins till they found, amid general horror and consternation, a means of escape. Many of the new Christians, thus freed, managed to communicate with their families, and hastily collecting such valuables as were portable, and which were spared from the wreck of the earthquake, sought refuge on board the English and Dutch vessels in the harbor, meeting with a hospitable reception and securing passage to more tolerant lands. The palace of the Inquisition in Lisbon seems never to have been rebuilt on the same scale as before, and its site is now occupied by the great theater in the Praça de Maria Segunda, commonly called the Rocio. Now, this is the source she provided. Now, the source I used in the book, this is 1818. I'll give you the reference in a second on the next page, but I just want to put this up here so you can see the comparison real quick, and I'll give you the reference in a second. Right here, this is the end of page 367. It's the notes at the bottom of the page. It is said that in about 1755, which coordinates right here, 1755, this one gives more detail, November 1st, 1755, when a terrible earthquake in Lisbon destroyed 30,000 inhabitants, the Portuguese believed that the mercy of God might be obtained by burning some Jews and other heretics in what they call the auto de fe, or act of faith. So this goes on. This one refers to the Inquisition. This is referring to the Inquisition too, the auto de fe, the act of faith. The Christians, the white Christians, started burning black Jews. This source is going to reference black Jews. This is the source that I go over in other videos. There's a link to this. So anyway, the black Jews were burned by the white Christians to God. They started engaging in human sacrifice. Now, but if you go down here, it appears that the Jews have no accurate deduction of their descent or genealogy. They suppose that they are in general of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin, with some among them of the tribe of Levi. These were the people being sent to Spain and Portugal, and yet she says it wasn't named after Judah. It's just a coincidence that people from the tribe of Judah were sent down there. Now, this is the history of the Jews since the destruction of Jerusalem, 1818 by Hannah Adams. This is an 1818 source. It says these people were Jews that they were persecuting from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Now, here's another one right here. The Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. Now, again, the link is in the description. You can go read this whole thing yourself. The Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. This whole book talks about the Portuguese Jews being black. And there's other references. And then there's this reference right here. Well, this is the end of it right here. I'll just, matter of fact, I'll read this part right here for you. This is page 368 right here where this page cuts off. This is the whole page. Now, in consequence of this supposed superiority, they till very lately would not. Matter of fact, let me start from 367. The Spanish and Portuguese Jews claimed their descent from the tribe of Judah and found these pretensions on a supposition which prevails among them, that many of their ancestors removed or went into Spain at the time of the Babylonian captivity. In consequence of this supposed superiority, they till very lately would not by marriage or otherwise incorporate with their brethren of other nations. So they remain separate. That's the black Portuguese. They had separate synagogues, and if a Portuguese Jew, even in England or Holland, married a German Jewess, he was immediately expelled from the synagogue, deprived of every civil and ecclesiastical right, and rejected from the body of the nation. So these black Portuguese would not marry German Jews. And if you did marry a German Jew, you were expelled or excommunicated from the Jewish religion or church. Or a synagogue. So these are the pieces of evidence that we put together. Excuse me. So now, my mouth is kind of dry. I'm talking for a while. So now that we put this together, we see another document here, and the link is in the description. I just want to read this right here. The Spanish Jew is always dark complexioned. You guys can go, I believe that's Go Ask Your Pastor, episode 8. The Spanish Jew is always dark complexioned. Interesting that we have all these corroborating evidences. Then we have the 1837 map. I'm sorry, 1737 map. 1737 map of, this is a Spanish map. right here in Guinea, along the coast of Africa, where you're going to have them taking slaves from. You zoom in and you see the Spanish also wrote Judah on the map. So everybody's calling these people Judah. Spain had Jews there. They knew who Judah was. Spain had people there claiming to be the tribe of Judah that fled to Portugal, and they ended up on the west coast of Africa. So we see that the Portuguese called them Judah, the Spanish called them Judah, the French called them Awida, the English called them Judah. They just happened to be down there from the tribe of Judah, and Nefernitty in her original video says it's not named after the tribe of Judah. That's all coincidence. Where is that video, Nefernitty? You've already admitted that they were on the west coast of Africa. Where's the video? Where's the video, the public announcement saying you were wrong? You do not keep your word. So let's look at something. So the Inquisition, what they did during the Inquisition was they tried to forcefully convert black Jews to Christianity. And the penalty of them not converting was being burned in most cases. So we see here the KKK continued that in America with lynching and burning. Lynching and burning. So what we're doing now is we're entertaining something similar. We're entertaining something similar because this guy right here is no different when it comes to Christians persecuting black people who are Israel. Vocab Malone is continuing the tradition of the Spanish Inquisition and the KKK. He's just doing it on video. Now we see he thinks this is funny. Now, ask him about it. He always has an excuse. This is just a parody. It's funny. To who? Funny to you, funny to white Christians. Who found the handcuffs funny, to put handcuffs on black men? Who told them to pose like this with the bug-eyed and fearful look? Who put the extra stuff on them? Who put the extra beards on them because they didn't look black enough? Anybody that knows anything about Hollywood, and if you watch the documentary where they talk about the white producers in Hollywood will tell black people they didn't talk black enough or act black enough or walk black enough for any of this stuff. And here we have Vocab doing the same thing, continuing it. And what does he do? He burns them at the end. And this is funny. And you see David Wood, a white Christian, Acts 17:11 Apologetics, 411 subscribers, 106,000 people came to see black men die for white Christian entertainment. 8.5 thousand likes. This is what is going on in the urban apologetics community. And this is what Vocab Malone is doing. And nobody is calling him out. Nobody is calling him out at all. They are sitting here letting him do this to the black community, and he acts like it's no big deal. He calls himself a specialist when he's on these Christian shows talking about black people. When he's talking about Israel, he calls himself a specialist, and yet he's not aware of the history that goes along with black people being burned for white Christian entertainment. He's doing the same thing just on video. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. Vocab Malone is doing the same thing that white Christians did during the Inquisition, white Christians did during slavery, white Christians did during the KKK era and Jim Crow and all that. When they were lynching and burning black people, Vocab Malone thinks this is entertainment. And you see how many, this guy has a predominantly white audience, a predominantly white Christian audience, 106,000 views to see these black guys die simply because they said they are Israel. Now, these guys, I don't know who they are in real life, and they were just playing roles. But the role is they were guys who just said, black people who just said they were Israel, nothing else. They weren't violent towards him or nothing else, but he kills them because he says, ha, 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 that's funny to kill black people for white entertainment. Then he hangs out with his black friend, and what does he do? He throws a fried chicken emoji in there. Because Vocab Malone doesn't care about our history. He doesn't care about the sensitivities of the past. Vocab Malone is not one of us. He is the enemy of our people. And yet he's going to be on that panel tonight with Eric Mason, who claims to be an activist. We're going to come back to that in a second. Then Vocab Malone, here he is. He writes a slavery parody. Now, this is not my link, but the link to this is in the description. This is not my video, so nobody can say I edited or did anything to it. This link is in the description. Vocab Malone has the audacity to read Woke Church. Then he has the audacity to go write a slavery parody. Then he asked a black man, Jay the producer, to sing the parody. He says it's funny. He wrote a parody called Slavery in the USA. Go watch the video for yourself. These are the Christians. He thinks it's funny. How many people find slavery funny? The rape and murder and the split up of families and using children for gator bait and being kidnapped from your homeland and beat and maimed and murdered. How many of you find parody in that? And as the brother points out in the video, Vocab would never dress up like Hitler and write a Holocaust parody and kill people in gas chambers. Why? Because they'd be like, you're anti-Semitic, but it's okay for him to do it to black people. It's okay for him to laugh and joke live and nobody's calling him out. I thought Nefernitty was pro-black. Why Nefernitty ain't called his boy out yet? I thought Eric Mason was an activist. Where you at, Eric Mason? Call him out. Your book says woke church, an urgent call for Christians in America to confront racism and injustice. I just showed you a white boy that kills black people on film for white Christian entertainment, puts fried chicken emojis in his black friends' pictures, and writes slavery parodies for his black friends to sing. Call it out. Confront the racism and injustice, Eric Mason. Show us. Lead by example. Because he's been using your book and your name to drag your name through the mud, your reputation through the mud. He's been on white shows saying, Eric Mason, woke church. And this gives him license to do it because he read this book. Now, you cannot tell me that he read this book and got your message. I want to know from Eric Mason himself, was your message in your book to write slavery parodies and ask your black friends to sing them if you're a white Christian in America? Was it to take pictures with your black friend and put fried chicken emojis in the comments section? Was that your message in this book, Eric Mason? I want to know. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And that's what we've seen the urban apologetics community doing, bearing false witness. And right now, the Pseudo Church is about to meet in a couple of hours. They're going to have a Pseudo Church meeting, a council of cowardice and hypocrisy. And I'm not addressing everybody up there because some people are insignificant. They don't even matter as far as this conversation is concerned. But we got Nefernitty up there who is lying about white Jews in West Africa. We know this. We know this. It's funny that she even took that position, but we know this and nobody's going to call her out on that panel. Why? Because they're cowards. They're hypocrites. Because when we said there were Jews in Africa, they got all kind of problems with that. But she says there's Jews in Africa. Silence. They won't confirm whether or not they believe it because they're cowards. All of them, including Eric Mason. Faithful to God. He says he's not black, but he disrespects black women, and he's proud of being a bully. People started referring to him as the Christian bully. So Nefernitty, if you're pro-black, you're a black woman. Why aren't you going to call Faithful to God out tonight? I bet you won't. I know you're not going to call Faithful to God out tonight. He says out of his own mouth he's not black, and he disrespects black women, and he talks about bullying black men. But you're pro-black, and you're going to sit on a panel tonight with somebody who's not black, and they talk about bullying black people, and they disrespect black women. Show us you're pro-black. Call him out. This goes beyond Christian or Israelite or anything else. Call him out if you're pro-black. If not, we see your true colors. Vocab. He uses Eric Mason's name and book as a license to attack black people. I just showed you the receipts. But I bet you Nefernitty won't call him out. She's pro-black, right? Why won't she call this dude out? We know why. She's not as pro-black as she pretends to be, because if she was, she would focus more on attacking him than me. I'm not the one blowing up black people for white Christian entertainment. I didn't put fried chicken emojis in my black friends' pictures. I didn't write a slavery parody. I didn't ask none of my black friends to sing a slavery parody. And this is what he calls woke. Eric Mason, where are you at? You claim to be an activist, but you won't speak up on behalf of black people. You see this going on. Faithful to God has disrespected a black woman. I was going to put what he said up here, but it's so vulgar that I don't even want to put it up here and repeat it, because people have told me they watch with their kids. So I didn't put up his comments about Sister E, but trust and believe they were disrespectful and very vulgar, and people need to call him out on that in public, because he said it in public. But Nefernitty don't care enough about black people or black women to do it. Eric Mason, I doubt that he's going to do it. I doubt he's going to call Vocab Malone out. What they're going to do is this panel of cowardice and hypocrisy, they're going to sit up there and have the audacity to talk about Israelites when they got all their own skeletons in the closet. Eric Mason is weak. He won't even defend his own name against Vocab Malone. Vocab Malone is out there saying, Eric Mason, woke church, I'm blowing up black people for white Christian entertainment. Eric Mason, woke church, take these fried chicken emojis in the picture with my black friend. Eric Mason, woke church, I wrote a slavery parody. Eric Mason, woke church, hey, black people, sing this slavery parody for me. Now he has the audacity to teach us black history from slave times. Go to this dude's page. He's teaching us slavery history. A white guy is teaching black people slavery history. I bet you Eric Mason and Nefernitty won't speak up and say a word. I don't believe Eric Mason has the balls to stand up for himself and call out Vocab Malone on this panel. He definitely don't have the balls to call out Faithful to God. He won't call out either one of them, neither will Nefernitty. And these are the kind of people we call Christians. They're going to sit up there in hypocrisy, and they're going to back each other's lie. They're going to back each other's false teaching, and they're going to defend this to the death. These are the leaders of the current pseudo church. Hypocrites, cowards, liars, false teachers, racists, Christian bullies. These are the new fruits of the Spirit according to the pseudo church. Nothing about them represents Christ, and you can be mad all you want to and say I'm in the wrong all you want to, but I'm not. So understand, if you guys are going to listen to this tonight, I'm going to jump in for a minute. They'll probably block me, but so be it. If you guys jump in tonight, here's some questions we should be asking. Where's Neffy's evidence of white Jews in West Africa? We should be bombarding the chat with that. Bombarding the comments. Where's her evidence for white Jews in West Africa? She refuses to give it. When are you going to call out Faithful to God for disrespecting black women? Neffy or Eric Mason? Either one of y'all. Or is it okay for just non-black Christians to just act amok, run amok, and act however they want to towards black women? Let me know, Eric Mason. Let everybody know. Let us see what kind of man you are. Are you going to step out and say something, or are you going to sit there silent while non-black people disrespect black people? Why is a racist white boy in a panel discussion about black beliefs? Why is he discussing Israelites or black Christians or black Jews or black Muslims or anything to do with the black community? This dude is a culture vulture. He tried to rap. We didn't appreciate his subpar rap skills, so he retired. And so now he's calling himself a black, aka urban apologist, and telling people he's a specialist in black matters, and y'all giving him license to get on a panel to talk about black beliefs. This is a disgrace. These are the people Eric Mason is associating himself with and surrounding himself by. What did the older generations used to say? Birds of a feather flock together. Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are. His panel consists of a false teacher, a Christian bully, and a racist. A specialist. He's telling white people he specializes in communicating with black people like he's Jane Goodall and we're some kind of apes in a zoo. This is Eric Mason's panel. When are you going to call out Vocab Malone's racist attacks on the black community? I want to know. When are you going to call out the fried chicken emoji? When are you going to call out the slavery parody, asking a black person to sing it for him? When are you going to call out Vocab Malone's insensitivities towards black history? Nefernitty pro-black, right? So let's see them prove they pro-blackness right now. Let's see Eric Mason prove his activism. Activate and defend your own name, Eric Mason, because this dude is out here dragging your name through the mud and using your book as a license to harass black people and to further racism against black people. Are deception, lies, false teaching, hatred for black women, and racism also the fruits of the spirit? This is what we're seeing come out of the UA community. And see, let me go ahead and drive it close to home for those of you who think I'm not being fair or it doesn't matter because we're Israel and it's y'all versus the Israelites. No. Read some Inquisition studies. Read some Inquisition books and references. The Christians that were around got caught up too because Christians tried to hide Jews. And so they murdered Christians. They bashed babies' heads against walls. They left children orphans. They raped women. They murdered men. They murdered people who looked like black Jews that were not necessarily black Jews. So understand, Eric Mason, as Vocab Malone continues to paint this false narrative of black people in the white community. Understand that if anything ever goes down, they're not just going to come for people that look like me. They're going to come for people that look like you. Your son, they're going to come for him too. And remember, they gunned Tamir Rice down from the car because of somebody spreading a false narrative about a black kid in the park with a gun. They didn't even stop. He was 12 years old and they gunned him down from the car. They arrest black kids all the time for no reason other than being black. Some of y'all just seen the scene on the beach where they're arresting all those black kids just for being black and on the beach. We see this happen all the time. Eric Garner selling cigarettes. They choked him to death. So understand that you fit the description. Eric Mason, Nefernitty, you fit the description. Vocab doesn't fit the description. You think they're going to stop at Israelites? No, because Pastor Omar, he don't look like the typical Israelites, and he's a pastor in a church in a suit. So don't think because you stand in a pastor in a church in a suit that they're not going to shoot first and ask questions later, or arrest first and ask questions later. No, what they're going to do is they're going to come after everybody, because you're allowing a white boy to paint this false narrative about black people, and you refuse to stand up for your own name. Forget about black people. You refuse to grow a set and stand up for yourself and call him out about what he's doing in your name. So those of y'all listening, just understand, if things go down, this is not 100% on Vocab. It is also on Pastor Eric Mason for refusing to step in and say anything. If your kids get arrested or shot or murdered because of this false narrative, it is on Pastor Eric Mason for not stepping in and opening his mouth and shutting Vocab down right now. And I doubt he'll do it. Personally, I doubt he'll do it. I doubt Nefernitty will speak up on behalf of black people either, because she'd rather fight with me than say anything to Vocab or faithful to God. She'd rather fight with black people than ever say a word against white Jews or anybody that ain't us. And why are there no Israelites on the panel? They want to have a discussion about Israelites, but they never want to include Israelites. And that's a problem. They're not trying to build bridges. What they're doing is they're holding an Inquisition, a modern day Inquisition. They are no different from the Spanish and the Portuguese that wanted us dead in the first place, our ancestors dead in the first place. So anyway, for those of y'all who want to join me in the chat room tonight while they have this panel of hypocrisy and cowardice, I'll be there for a little bit. I'm not going to stay for the whole thing, because you know how long-winded they get, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8, 12. Like, these people don't have jobs, or maybe they're getting paid by the government. I don't know. So anyway, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button so more people will see it. Share this video, please. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have, make sure you hit the notification bell. And again, share this video. There is no excuse for us to tolerate this. We need to start calling them out. And they're all going to sit on that panel tonight, and they're all going to hide their skeletons in their closet. And they're all going to sit up there in hypocrisy and smile and laugh and talk trash about Israelites. Meanwhile, we know all their dirt. I just want other people to see it. If you're in Pastor Mason's congregation, tonight we'll tell you what type of man he is. He's either going to sit next to that racist and be accommodating while he claims to be an activist, or he's going to call him out. Nefernitty is either going to sit next to this dude that says he wants to bully black men and he's disrespectful to black women. She's either going to call him out, or she's going to sit there quietly and tolerate him. And tonight we're going to see exactly what type of people they are. So anyway, that's it for now. Till next time, I'm out.